Red Raptor is the 59th legend in Brawlhalla, and he actually released pretty quickly. While Thea released back in late March, Red Raptor released in mid-June, making that only a 2.5 month in between. And people are complaining that legends are coming out too quickly now. Jesus, Brawlhalla community, make up your mind. Regardless, Red Raptor is much more simple in terms of battle boots legends. He has boots, of course, and orb, bringing up the orb legend count to 7. Meanwhile, canon is left at 5 still. BMG, please, release a new canon legend. I haven't played much Red Raptor yet. While he's my least favorite boots legend out of the current 3, he's still pretty fun, and he has some neat features to him that make him pretty unique. Right now, Red Raptor SIGs are pretty strong in some categories, and a little weaker in other parts. Although, of course, we'll be seeing some nerfs to them when the next balance pass rolls around. Orb SIG is a pretty huge punch upwards, while it can be a really strong SIG, covering an S area above you. Although it isn't active too long. I would actually call this his weakest Orb SIG. Not because it's bad by any means, but because his other 2 SIGs just shine so much more brightly. Like his Orb Side SIG, the literal strongest SIG in the entire game. This SIG has pretty much no downsides. It has super quick startup, you travel at a high speed, and it goes an absolutely massive distance, whether on the ground or trying to get back to stage. Out of all of Red Raptor's SIGs, this one has to be the one getting nerfed. Either nerf the startup frames or end lag, maybe force a little too. Orb down SIG is in between in SIG and side SIG on strength. It's pretty solid in slamming opponents down, even against the stage, although just like in SIG it isn't active too long, so it can leave you open to being punished. Although hitting it feels so clean to do. I can see maybe a slight nerf in this one. Going on to boots, I've gotta say these SIGs go way less hard. They just aren't as good and don't look nearly as cool either. Boots in SIG is the one I'm having the most trouble with, although it's a really good SIG. Your first instinct against boots is to dodge upwards anyways, so this SIG catches that perfectly. It has nice force and hitboxing too, although I wouldn't be surprised that it gets nerfed a tad bit. Boots side SIG, unfortunately, is his worst SIG. Again, not because it's bad, but just because his other SIGs outshine. This one is extremely similar to Val's Gauntlet side SIG in comparison, although it's very likely stronger in certain aspects. And it's on boots. Now let's say on this one really. On to the last SIG, we have Boots down SIG. So many times we've covered the quote-unquote get off me SIGs, and here's a new one they've added. It looks pretty cool and even has an aerial version. The only downside is that the force is really low, but with the hitboxing like this, it pretty much balances itself out. For which weapon to run, I would go with Orb. The signature kit is just so much better, even for how good boots can be if you lab them out enough. Orb and boots are pretty similar in difficulty when trying to learn them, so of course either will work with enough effort. Going on to his skins, the section will be very quick. I really don't like any of his skins besides the base one. I feel like they ruin the vibe of the character too much. Default is very clearly the best one, and the only one I really like. The ripped off parts of the suit and his helmet add so much to his character. On to mid tier we have Fallen Raptor and Rocket Raptor. Fallen Raptor is the generic edgy one people would buy. It's not really the one I plan to get. Rocket Raptor is the one I thought about getting because it's a bit more classy, but the weapons and color swaps really don't have me. It's a nice design though. Last in med tier we have Emerald Raptor. It looks like a weirder, grosser version of his default skin. It removes the whole charm the default skin goes for in the first place. Hopefully in the future he'll get a cool battle pass skin, or maybe a seasonal skin that'll do the job better. Tier list wise, out of SC, B, C, and D, Red Raptor would obviously go in S tier. With a signature kit like that, you'd be wrong putting him anywhere else. Boots you could argue are broken, which I really don't think so, but they can be good. As for Orb, I personally think it's not in a super hot spot right now, considering people are only playing Petra for Orb and nothing else. But Red Raptor with his wacky weapon combo is still super good. But once he gets nerfed, he might be in the lower 1% area, or maybe even lower. Although he has a solid stat lineup. 6 attack, 6 dex, 4 defense, and 6 speed. Most of his stances seem to work out fine, just don't run dex. Defense takes out of speed, speed takes out of attack, attack takes out on dex, and dex takes out of defense. I believe the most preferred stance would be attack, since dex really doesn't matter for Orb and Boots, but really, it's your call. One stance or another won't completely ruin him. As for his play rate, it also really doesn't matter. All the new legends are super overplayed for a few weeks, and then it tones down. Overall, I wouldn't say Red Raptor is the most unique addition gameplay-wise, even with some of his SIGs, although I actually like his background story quite a lot. Dude's the last Sentai of his team, considering all the other ones are dead. So let's see. Decent but wacky weapon combo, amazing SIGs, nice stat lineup. I could see Red Raptor being the pick for some people, but I don't expect it to last too long. I still think Tezca and Thea are a bit cooler gameplay-wise, and maybe Thea design-wise. Yes, I'm a simp. Although, like every legend, I'll probably get Red Raptor to level 25. And hey, maybe there's some secret hidden tech we don't know yet. Only time will tell. I appreciate y'all watching this legend analysis. After all this time, these videos are still some of my favorites to make. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe at any time. And of course, until next time, always remember to keep on brawling.